So, hello, this is Trey Parker. Okay. This is Trey.
And this is Matt. As we sound.
We get to do commentary for our movie that we made 10 years ago. And honestly, I mean, I don't know about you, Matt, but I have not seen this movie probably since we made it.
I watched the first 15 minutes a couple of years ago, and I was really drunk on TV. I came home and I watched it. It was about the first 15 minutes. That was it.
It's pretty crazy because, you know, obviously we've done 10 years of South Park since this movie came out, and it's changed and evolved quite a bit. And
look how shitty the shots are.
So shitty. I mean, it's funny because I kind of, you know, we used to rip on George Lucas and Steven Spielberg for like changing their stuff, you know, like changing E.T. and Star Wars, and I kind of understand now where they come from. Like it's hard for me to watch this and be like, oh, well, let's just reanimate that real quick and make it look nicer and better. But obviously that would be bad because then it's not what it was.
It is. Look how junky the animation is.
Yeah, it's pretty hard for me to look at.
I think that we watched this movie, we went to the premiere and we told everyone we weren't going to watch, and then we stood out in the lobby and then we snuck in and watched it.
Yeah.
I think in the back, and that's the last time I've seen this movie.
Because this was 99, right?
It was 99. It came out August 99, I think.
What happened was, I mean, really, this movie came out, we had done season 1 of South Park, which just did great, and everyone loved it, and, I mean, obviously not everyone loved it, but...
enough people loved it.
But enough people loved it. And then we went through season 2, and everyone said, oh, now it sucks, and, you know, it's lost all its... Which it really basically did, because season 2 was really pretty bad.
Season 2 was definitely our sophomore slump.
Yeah. We just kind of listened to a lot of people telling us, okay, well, now you've had this big success, now go do, you know, real quick while you can, go out and get a bunch of other deals and do a bunch of other things.
So we did basketball.
Yeah, so we did all this other stuff. And we kind of like...
Basketball in the South Park, we did an album, I think.
Yeah, we did
before or after
the
this?
Chef Fade Out. No, this was like during right this time. It was before the movie, I think. Yeah, it was before.
I can't remember.
But anyway, we were just, you know, spreading ourselves way too thin and doing what we thought was normal, which is, you know, okay, well, now you've got a successful show, now you let other people kind of, you come and oversee it, but you let other people write it and direct it and all that stuff, which is what, you know, most people do, but we after doing that for a season, we realized we didn't want to do that, and so we came back and really, you know, started doing everything with the show again. But what happened was this movie happened after that second year when everyone was just like, it was basically over, and we even thought we thought South Park was done. I mean, we're like, okay, well, we had our run. We really thought we were going to get the 6 and that would be it. So we thought, oh, we lasted 2 years. That's pretty good. And we're like, well, we're going to make this movie. And all the press that we were reading that was coming out was basically like, ugh, a South Park movie. Like that's so over now.
It was definitely at the low point of South Park when everyone was just kind of like, well, that was fun, that was a fad, and now there's a movie coming out. Which, by the way, I think like all the time when I see a movie version of a TV show, I'm like, oh, Jesus, the movie version of it. Yeah. And so I totally remember we were working through the spring and summer of '99, I guess it was, and there was a real swan song feeling to the whole thing. There was a real sense of like, well, we came out to LA, we got a TV show on the air, we made it, we were on the cover of Rolling Stone, and now we're gonna do this movie, and it's just our big, you know, middle finger to I don't know to even who, like why we were so mad. I think we were mad mostly at like the you know, at the MPAA we'd had troubles with on Orgasmo with, and we, you know, and then I think we believed, even though it's not really true, that there was a lot of you know, there was all these big myth about South Park that there's all these Christian groups coming down on us and everyone's trying to shut us down when we were doing the TV show in the beginning, right? But that wasn't really true. No, everyone just wanted us to do more of it. And give us more money to do it. But at a certain point, you kind of, you know, it's important I think when you do a movie, and we've done it kind of on both movies we've done, and it's kind of why actors and directors always sound so fucking full of themselves and stuff, is that you have to believe you're on a mission, I think, because it's such hard work. And you know what I mean? And when you're in the middle of it, you can't see the end of it, and you just have to think like, and if you don't, you're just going to end up like a shitty, like, you know, I don't know, some shitty, like, Big Daddy comedy or something like that. But you basically have to get you kind of have to get a little bit crazy. You have to kind of get obsessed and crazy. And I think we were like, okay, Swan Song, we're going out with a bang. We're going to put it all in this movie. It's going to be big fuck you to the MPAA. It's going to be big fuck you to everybody. Yeah. Fuck everybody.
It was just
I think that helped us, though. That's what I'm saying. I think it helped us.
No, it did, because we didn't And we also, there was a sense, I mean, we totally put a lot into this, but there was also this attitude of like, we don't care. Like, our careers are over, the show is over, so we don't give a fuck what we do in this thing. And it wasn't like we don't care about we cared about the movie, but we're like, we're going to do what we want to do. And we don't care what bridges we burn.
Yeah.
And we don't care. And
we really were that way. It makes us sound cooler than we are, but we really were that way. It's almost to a fault at that time.
Yeah.
And I remember, so another, I totally remember. And like I remember, I remember the summer movie previews would come out, those big things in newspapers, or
Entertainment Weekly was it.
Entertainment Weekly always has it, and it like has like the biggest movie obviously that year was the new Star Wars movie. The next biggest movie, so that got all the press. The first of the new prequels was coming out, and then the other big movie that came out that summer was Austin Powers 2, which had a huge marketing campaign. Remember all the Heineken? And, I mean, we were really in tune with that because like we're like, oh, what other movies are coming out this summer? And that was getting a huge amount of stuff. And then it would be like, okay, here's the movies that are coming out this summer, and then here's the other ones, the best of the other ones, and it's like a little sentences about each one. And then it was down to like, and also, and at the end of the summer movie preview with like, documentaries from Iran and like independent films, like, some weird independent films that no one had ever heard of. It was a South Park movie, and it would just say, ugh. We're like, do we really need a big 90-foot Cartman? And
but that's why we had in our heads of like, all right, well, no one's going to really see this. It's going to be the end of South Park, so let's just totally do it the way we want to do, and we'll leave this town with our heads held high. And like
that energy really helped us. The fact that the press was kind of against us, and then like if you go back and look at all the reviews of the movie, it was like, surprise, the South Park movie's not that bad, And we were like, it's like, why did you think it was going to be bad? So it was definitely a heated time. That whole time.
The first, and part of why we're sort of talking in broad strokes here, because to sit here and talk scene by scene, like we honestly don't even remember doing half of this stuff. I mean, you've got to keep in mind that we've done 150 some episodes of South Park between this movie. It's like I don't remember making this movie very well, but I remember these, the big things, and one of those big things was, we first came up with this idea of like, okay, let's make an R-rated cartoon about an R-rated cartoon coming out, and that was really what we thought was a cool movie-worthy idea. And the first big fight we had to fight to Paramount was, of course, they wanted us to make this a PG-13 movie.
That's right, yeah.
And at first they were just saying at meeting, and at first when we were just writing the script, they would say, okay, well, we'll talk about that later. And then they would have meetings with us where like, guys, listen, we really need to make this PG-13. And we're like, dude, the TV show is PG-13, or maybe even like we can't make something that's less than the TV show. And then they literally brought us in one time, and I won't name names, especially because I don't remember the names of the people that were there at Paramount. But they brought us in.
It was the head of marketing and another guy.
Yeah. They brought us in and they set us down, and they basically put on an infomercial for us where Matt and I sat there, and one of them came out and said, guys, we just want to tell you the difference in money that you'll make between an R-rated and a PG-rated movie. And we're like, okay.
And they literally had graphs.
Yeah, and they had graphs and like
easels.
See, a PG-13 can get into these markets and this and do that later on cable, and an R-rated could do this and that. And then the other guy at Paramount would go, hold on a second. Are you actually trying to tell me that because it can do this on cable, it'll make more money there? And he's like, that's right, Jim, or whatever his name was. And we're just
this guy was like a big guy at Paramount in a suit on the Paramount lot going, well, I didn't know you couldn't make a red band trailer.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that? And we're looking at him going, well, no, but
we don't care.
You're literally at a shill in the meeting with us, thinking we'd fall for it. But we didn't. I don't know. It was just for us. It was either it was an R-rated movie, or there was no reason to do it. Yeah, I mean, and plus we'd come up with this. I remember when we came up with the idea, and like most things, it's like we literally came up with like half the movie in 25 seconds. We're sitting there. I remember we were at Jennifer Howell's desk, fucking around and doing nothing, like skipping work. And one of us said something like, "If we do a movie, it should be about the kids trying to sneak into because we want to do an R movie. It would be about the kids trying to sneak in the Terrence and Phillip movie, and it's rated R." And then the other one said, "Yeah," and then they go to war with Canada. It was like that. It was like seriously, like 20 seconds. Like, okay, there's the movie, and then all the hard work began. But I totally remember that we came up with most of the movie in like 20 seconds, sitting at Jennifer Howell's desk.
Yeah, and it's pretty funny to watch too, because there's so many new. I mean, it's weird to think that right now the movie that defines South Park doesn't even have Butters in it. Like, it's crazy.
How would you like to go see the school counselor?
How would you like to suck my balls?
As far as saw
another big fight was getting it to be a musical.
Yeah, that's right.
That was a big thing because because the first film we did back in Colorado, Cannibal the Musical, was a musical, and then we did Orgasmo, which we should have made a musical, but we didn't.
Right. It was supposed to be a musical.
That was the fucking sweetest movie of all time. Yeah. Made a musical. We thought about it, and then we kind of wimped out. And then partway through this, it became not right at the beginning, but partway through the movie, it became kind of clear. We kind of came on this idea of kind of making fun of the big Disney musicals that were kind of big at that time, the big animated Disney musicals.